Hi, this is Little Dwarf playing games while rambling incoherently into the microphone. Why? Well, just because I can, and I continue with Portal with the developer commentary on.
Welcome to the final test. When you are done, you will drop the device in the Equipment Recovery Annex. Enrichment Center regulations require both hands to be empty before any cake.
So, as you can see, the commentary is indeed still on. I was wondering about it a little in the previous section because I didn't find any notes in that last section, but apparently the developers that just didn't see a reason to include any there. So how would I... Obviously need one here, but placing the second one here isn't going to work because it's actually even weirder than I... Placing it on the ground will just cause it to bounce up and down, which also isn't particularly helpful to me. To be honest, again, I kind of have no idea how that worked out because when it went out of here, it should have just hit the ceiling. So I'm pretty much a bumbling idiot at this game, and that's even despite the fact that I've already played it once, even though it was years ago, back when it originally premiered. And actually, I might have... There was a platform here, I think. So, is it permanently gone, or just on a rotation? Well... Yeah, I wonder if it'll come back, but I think it has to, because they wouldn't softlock me like that. This game is remarkably good at making sure you don't lock yourself out of the possibility of getting to the end accidentally. Although I still am not sure how did this work out in the end. Which again doesn't really say the best things about me, but
we use these moving platforms to add time pressure to puzzles. A sequence of simple decisions feels much more climactic under time pressure, in contrast to most puzzles in Portal, which can be solved at the player's leisure. Puzzles that aren't time-bound can be more complex, but at the expense of being less dramatic.
There is a... Okay, that didn't really work. So I guess I'm supposed to put the second portal behind the door rather than trying to cross it normally. It's interesting that I apparently can stand like in the middle of a portal and still survive, at least for a moment. Okay. Not sure that was the quote-unquote intended way of solving that, but I guess what's most important is that I solve it in the end, one way or another.
Sometimes little details make a huge difference. For instance, we had to add the left side to this wall to give players a visual representation of how thick it is. Without it, playtesters frequently thought that the hall had just gotten impossibly narrower, panicked, and stopped making rational decisions.
To be honest, I myself am not making much of a rational decision here, because okay, that did work out somehow.
Congratulations. The test is now over. All Aperture technologies remain safely operational up to 4,000 degrees Kelvin. Rest assured that there is absolutely no chance of a dangerous equipment malfunction prior to your victory incandescence. Thank you for participating in this Aperture Science computer-aided enrichment activity. Goodbye.
Yeah, but
Before the player escapes the fire pit, the AI dialogue is all delivered in a computerized monotone. After the escape, however, Gladys gets progressively more expressive until, by the end, she's cycling through a whole mess of emotions.
What are you
The role
doing?
required an actor
Stop it.
capable of mimicking the computer-generated voice while still infusing it with some real
We are
character.
pleased that you made
Since
it
we
through
planned
the
to
final
end the game with a
challenge
song,
where we
she also needed to have a
pretended we were
good
going
singing
to murder you.
The woman we ended up casting,
We are
Ellen
very,
McLean, is a
very
great mimic,
happy
a
for
terrific
your
actor,
success.
and a classically trained
We are
operatic
throwing
soprano,
a
so that
party
worked
in
out pretty
honor
good.
of your tremendous success. Place the device on the ground.
Okay, I'm going
then
to
lie on your stomach
redo
with
that
your arms
because
at your sides. A
because
party
I want to.
associate will arrive shortly to collect you for your party. Make no further attempt to leave the testing area. Assume the party.
Before the
What
player
are you
escapes
doing?
the fire pit, the
Stop
AI...
it.
Before the
What
player...
are
Before the player escapes the fire pit, the AI dialogue is all delivered in a computerized monotone. After the escape, however, Gladys gets progressively more expressive until, by the end, she's cycling through a whole mess of emotions. The role required an actor capable of mimicking the computer-generated voice while still infusing it with some real character. Since we planned to end the game with a song, she also needed to have a good singing voice. The woman we ended up casting, Ellen McLean, is a great mimic, a terrific actor, and a classically trained operatic soprano, so that worked out pretty good.
Okay, I wanted to redo this section to avoid layering the voice of GLaDOS over the commentary, and again, it's interesting to me that you can sort of stand in the middle of a portal like that, like you would think I would get burned at this point anyway, but apparently not.
What are you doing? Stop it. We are pleased that you made it through the final challenge where we pretended we were going to murder you. We are very, very happy for your success. We are throwing a party in honor of your tremendous success. Place the device on the ground, then lie on your stomach with your arms at your sides. A party associate will arrive shortly to collect you for your party. Make no further attempt to leave the testing area. Assume the party escort submission position or you will miss the party.
To be honest, that was a really inefficient way of trying to murder the player. Like, I guess it's supposed to signify that GLaDOS is insane, which I guess is a fair point. But if she really wanted to dispose of you at the end, there are much easier ways that wouldn't leave such a broad possibility of escaping. Like, she could have just shot you, or with one of those hidden turrets or something, and the descent into the fire was like comically slow. So it's almost like she wanted you to escape, maybe to toy with you further, which I guess is another interesting theory, because she tries to kill you a couple of times more throughout, so But now I need to concentrate on getting out of here, and I don't really remember how to do it. I can't place any portals here. I guess I should try to get a higher vantage point and peek out of the higher portal. Oh, no, I get it now. I need to fling myself, of course. That didn't quite work.
What are you doing? Stop it. We are pleased that you made it through the final challenge where we pretended we were going to murder you. We are very, very happy for your success. We are throwing a party in honor of your tremendous success. Place the device on the ground, then lie on your stomach with your arms at your sides. A party associate will arrive shortly to collect you for your party. Make no further attempt to leave the testing area. Assume the party escort submission position or you will miss the party.
Oh, that's like a turret assembly station or something, which again brings me back to my original point. It would have been much easier and much more efficient to just murder the player by shooting him.
In these new areas, we weren't using the surfaces the player is familiar with. The rules for which new surfaces portals can be placed on, and which surfaces are off-limits, needed to be taught. So, we created this area both to show the player they've escaped into the guts of the facility, and to retrain them in which surfaces are valid for portal placement.
Ah, so I guess it cuts off whenever I look away or something? I didn't notice that before. Okay, I'm kind of a little confused here. It's pretty obvious to me that I need to get to this other railing over there. But I'm not 100% sure on how to do that. Oh. I was excited for a second that I missed the door, but it's still locked, so it doesn't really help me. Well, I guess that did work out quite alright in the end. Although again, I'm not quite sure if that was the intended most obvious way to solve this problem. Okay, the sign says that I need to go up, but I'm still kind of interested in this room. Yeah, this slideshow gives you some lore tidbits regarding the Aperture Science competition with Black Mesa, as well as developing GLaDOS. Yeah, GLDOS, GLaDOS. It's apparently less expensive than whatever alternative Black Mesa proposed, but I doubt that has done Aperture Science much good once they were all murdered by their creation. Okay, so that's a test subject file or something, but I can't read that. There's something interesting on the monitors. Coconut frosting, vanilla extract. Is that a like a cipher for butter or margarine softened? Is that a cipher for a cake recipe? That would be quite hilarious. Prepared coconut, vanilla extract, garnishes. 2 packages of chocolate cake mixed with something. Yeah, it seems to be, at least in part, a recipe for cake, which again might be a way to show that GLaDOS is bonkers, or just an Easter egg, because obviously cake in itself is like a big part of Portal's internal mythology, as it were. Okay. So, how about that? Okay, that didn't quite work the way I wanted it to. But that did.
You haven't escaped, you know. You're not even going the right way. Hello? Is anyone there?
Cake is a lie. Funnily enough, I seem to remember that there is indeed cake in the ending sequence, but you can never reach it. So I guess it was true in the sense that it existed, but it was false in the sense that you're never going to get it, and instead it is you.
Okay, the test is over now. You win. Go back to the recovery annex for your cake. It was a fun test, and we're all impressed at how much you won. The test is over. Come back.
It is you who are going to get baked at the end, which again was actually foreshadowed by GLaDOS earlier, when she either malfunctioned or just teased you because she knew what's going to happen at the end.
After players escape, we let them solve an old chamber in a new way. This reintroduction of a familiar space, which can now be solved in an incorrect way, helps convey the sense that players are cheating the system while forging their own path through the facility.
To be honest, I'm pretty sure that this exact scenario, with you opening the door and then putting one portal on the other side, the door closing and you stepping in through the portal to circumvent the door has already happened in the past, so I'm not quite sure what they are talking about, unless... I don't think I'm going to die, actually, because after all, yeah, you...
Somebody cut the cake. I told them to wait for you, but they cut it anyway. There is still some left if you hurry back.
because you don't take fall damage in portal, after all. So there was no need to worry about that. That's a really cool way of going through this barrier, you know. You literally go through it with one portal on the lower side and one portal on the upper side. Okay, so now I'm here, but I'm not sure how that helps me really.
You're not even going the right way. Where do you think you're going? Because I don't think you're going where you think you're going. Hello?
So obviously I need to utilize that in some way, but not in this way.
You're not even going the right way. Where do you think you're going? Because I don't think you're going where you think you're going.
I think I need to go up there. But how to actually do that? I don't think I can fling myself across because there's no way to put a portal on the ground. Although the central one is obviously interesting to me. Because it puts me square across. So I guess most of those pistons are useless. Like, I only need this one. Unless there's like something else here. Help, the cake is a lie. No cake. Beans, some supplies from the other guy that escaped. But I guess this area is just for flavor. And again, most of those pistons seem to be useless because you only need this one to place a portal up there. But the thing is, I don't remember which one I placed. The orange one. Okay. So let's listen to the commentary first.
One bizarre fact of game design is that without some serious prompting, players will rarely look up. In this case, the prompt is a ladder. Most players will investigate where the ladder goes, which is up. The ladder actually falls apart as soon as it's touched, but by then it's served its purpose.
That's interesting because I didn't even notice that it had the lower part to begin with. But I guess even if it didn't, you'd still investigate because it's clear that there was a ladder once here. And if there was a ladder, obviously there must be something worthwhile up there.
We designed the post-escape levels to give players brief glimpses of the inner workings of the Enrichment Center. This particular area exposes part of the storage cube distribution system. These little vignettes help make this section of the game visually distinct from the testing chambers, while reinforcing the idea that players are now behind the scenes.
There actually are no cubes here, and before I saw the distribution tubes anyway, so I'm curious why they did choose to comment on it here, where there actually are no cubes, instead of earlier when there were.
Didn't we have some fun, though? Remember when the platform was sliding into the fire pit and I said goodbye, and you were like, and then I was off. We pretended we were going to murder you. That was great.
That was like, I don't know, 10 minutes ago. Oh, okay, that was a little bit confusing. I wanted to pause for a second to listen to the commentary, but I need to stand on top of this piston, because otherwise it's going to crush me. I guess it's specifically designed in a way that you need to time it correctly, which I'm certainly not doing.
And then I was off. We pretended we were going to murder you. That was great.
Oh freak.
Didn't we have some fun, though? Remember when the platform was sliding into the fire pit and I said goodbye, and you were like, no way. And then I was off. We pretended we were going to murder you. That was great.
Okay, so I'll listen to the commentary now, because I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to even view it from up there.
For playtesting, we discovered that fatigue set in if we didn't break up the more complicated, deliberately paced puzzles with problems that required the player to perform a much simpler task under time pressure. These pistons proved to be a good foundation for that simpler type of puzzle. Because they feature a moving surface, they also gave us an opportunity to employ some unusual portal transitions, such as ceiling to ceiling.
During development, we'd often run across some piece of level design that would break the portal system. For instance, this ceiling to ceiling transition was an unexpected edge case that ended up requiring a lot of effort to make work. We tried never to take the easy route of simply changing the level design to work with existing portal technology. We knew that once the game was out in the wild, custom map creators would stress the system in ways we hadn't even considered, so we made it as flexible as possible.
Okay, I'll save just to avoid having to listen to GLaDOS again when I die. Okay, that's actually both sad and kind of hilarious. Okay, I think I'm supposed to be here? Although, maybe I'm wrong actually. I think I'm supposed to fling myself across. Okay, I think I'm...
You really shouldn't be here. This isn't safe for you. It's not too late for you to turn back. I'm not angry. Just go back to the testing area.
I wonder what's the actual purpose of all of that machinery? Because to me it looks pretty complicated, but also pretty pointless. You just have those pistons that are moving around. I guess there is a slight possibility that they don't have any actual purpose, and they are just a showcase of GLaDOS's insanity. Where to? Okay, that doesn't really help me. But I guess... okay, yes, I spoke too soon. Okay, so this should lead me out. Okay, I'm actually going to end this episode here because I think it's about half an hour onto the end, so that would fit perfectly. So that's all for this one, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.